And we're back. It's kicking it with the Crosbys. I'm Mason Crosby, former NFL kicker, Packers kicker for 16 years, a short stint for the New York Giants for 3 games.
Just a little.
But I got credit, so 17 seasons technically. And say hello to my brother Reese.
What's up, everybody? I like that. I do like the little shout out of the and also 17. Got the 17th year in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everyone's like, how many years did you play? And I'm like, well, 17. And it's funny because I had Clay Matthews. I've had conversations with him, and he was like, I just you can never take that away. It's like if you get another credited year, it's part of what you played. So hey, I got 17. I snuck out that 17th. I'm not ashamed of it. I don't feel bad about it. 16 years in Green Bay was pretty awesome, though.
Would you say that you're the best Giant to ever wear the jersey number 21, or is that?
I'm the best Giants kicker to ever wear.
That was a good.
You like that? Yeah,
that was smart.
I know that was smart. Yeah, obviously not the best Giant to ever wear that number, but
I was just curious.
The best and only kicker to have ever worn that number.
Maybe ever in NFL history. You might be the only number 21 kicker ever.
Let's just go ahead and say that.
We're gonna do that. So you've heard it here. Mason Crosby is the best kicker in NFL history to ever wear the jersey number 21.
Thank you.
And that's because we just can't think of anyone else that's worn it. But that's it.
Yep. Can't fact check that. That is exactly what it is. Best kicker in NFL history to wear number 21.
Boom.
Over. Conversation over. Put me in the Hall of Fame. Well, I see. So I've been thinking about this while we've been doing the show, and obviously we both wear hats, always wearing a hat. Reese likes to rock his backwards. I want to know what your favorite hat brand is. Do you have a specific brand you lean to, or is it just kind of what hits you in the moment?
It's just it's what hits me, to be honest. This one.
Can you wear any kind of hat?
I mean, kind of.
Or do certain types of hats not work? Because I have a very specific head shape that can only fit certain types of hats.
Well, so this one's 47, and these are pretty good. I like these because forward works. Yeah, forward works, backwards. I like that. And then this is a Zephyr one, but this is a straight bill, and forward looks outrageous. Yeah, dude. I just can't pull it off. Maybe, but it's got to bend a little.
Keep it like that the rest of the time, please.
And then, this is back. I like this one backwards, but I don't know.
You're so versatile. You're way more versatile in the hat game than I am. I'm not versatile in the hat game.
No, and I like the best ones are. I used to remember what they are. They're the Richardson 512s or whatever. You know, there's probably not that one because that's our area code back home. But
I need a deep bucket. I need a deep bucket, and it Travis Matthews hats fit my hat. Those are always go to for me. Can rock those anytime. This is an Adidas, but do you recognize the logo? You know where this is from?
It's got what is that? Bandon Dunes.
Bandon Dunes, the preserve. Yeah, the par 3 course. Yeah. So love my Bandon Dunes hat. Obviously, my hat wearing is primarily based on golf. Yours is probably based more in the for style and aesthetics.
Yeah, it's funny.
I'm functional and form. That's kind of who we are. I do things to get it done. Reese is a little showy, wants to kind of stand out and be seen.
Unbelievable.
Am I wrong?
What are you talking about?
What?
You're showy. You're the showy one. Everyone that's a fact. That is a fact.
Just like we confirmed, I was the only kicker to ever wear 21.
This is a fact show. Critical fact.
Critical fact show.
It's one of those things that I don't have a lot of things that I own. I don't own a lot of clothes. I don't own a lot of shoes. I lived in
what you do have. You like to show off.
My God. I lived in a van for 3 years. So I did van life, traveling around the United States. I literally just don't own a lot of things still. But the one thing that I noticed, I have I collect hats, and I don't know why. Whenever I go places, I don't buy a sticker. I don't buy a t-shirt, I buy hats. And so like that's my one thing that I just can't get away from. I can't help it. I just get like,
I like that,
tingly, and I'm like, I need a hat. I gotta get one.
That's a little aggressive.
Jonesing for a hat now. I need like a new hat.
You'll have a new hat next week, I guarantee. Like you'll be shopping.
One.
Okay, well, you opened up this can of worms because like I've been waiting for the moment to just bring it up and talk about like that. Though you talked about living in a van that you had built out with Brittany, and can you just tell everybody a little bit about that journey of like going into that van life, like what that, and like it was wild, right? Because y'all met a lot of other people on like your trips and things like that like we're doing this van life thing. So that kind of that's gonna tee up a segment that we're gonna kind of jump into quite a bit on our show is the living life on purpose. So that was yours and Brittany's mantra, and you did it to the fullest. So yeah, tell everybody about the building out the van and what that van life was all about.
Yeah, I mean, owned a big 2,600 square foot house in my mid-20s. It was beautiful, amazing, but something about that, just like once you start opening doors and vacuuming over vacuum lines, you're like, this is too big. We don't need all this room. So downsized to an RV. This was all as Brittany was going through cancer. And so we just got like this idea that we have this big RV. We want to start driving it around, but we can't go very far, very fast. So that was literally our idea. We saw this van that a person was living in, and we thought of the idea of like further, faster. And so we went and got a van. Some great people, Cameron Davies at Cruising Kitchens, redid the whole thing for us, put it on a TV show, which was really cool. And went for it. And so Britt and I only got to do a couple long road trips before she passed away, but it really just became like a thing of like life is about adventure and not things. And that was what we wanted. We wanted to experience life as much as we could, to see everything that we could and not have to spend money on hotel rooms or airplanes. Like we could just drive there and live out of the van. So the first night in the van, the funniest part was we took it from Texas and drove to Memphis on our way to North Carolina for a friend's wedding. And literally first night in the van, slept down by the river. Literally, like you could see the Mississippi River from the van.
It was down by the river.
It was hilarious because like kind of booked it on the drive, wasn't sure how far we were going to make it. And it was like, oh, cool, here's this spot. Wake up in the morning and we're like, we literally just slept in a van down by the river. Like it's right there. Like it was so funny. So then I carried that on for like 3 years off and on, living in Montana and Idaho and Utah and Washington, Oregon. I did touch both oceans with it, stuff like that. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Me and my dog, I think it was like 27 states, something like that, give or take. Man. So,
and just tell everybody too, like there occasionally you will like kind of update and like put shirts and gear and things with the mantra living life on purpose on as well, right? So we'll make sure when that those moments come, we got to make sure that gets out and everybody jumps on that and it gets part of the culture of living life on purpose and doing things with meaning and like having a reason for what you're doing and chasing after.
Yeah, one of the things about live life on purpose is like we're not guaranteed any like specific length of this life, but we can have control over the width and the depth of it. So it's like kind of just, we don't know how long we're going to be here, so let's make the most out of it. Like how deep can you go in life of friendships and adventures and experiences, and how big can you grow your community of like-minded people? So yeah, man.
Well, hey, but I know that stuff's tough, and it's thinking and Brittany's memory is it's always kind of hits the heart really hard. But I appreciate you talking about that, because I think it's so impactful to so many people that have experienced similar or are going through things that you can really reach a lot of people with your message there. So I appreciate that, and I hope we can continue to kind of dive down that on occasion, just to make sure that we're checking in and honoring, Brittany's legacy and her life and living life on purpose and doing things, with that purpose and moving and pushing the needle forward because, yeah, it's about connections. It's about people. It's about those relationships that are so important. And I always applaud and like look to you as just like just a beacon in that. Like you do things, really well in that space. Proud of you, bro.
Man. Yeah,
I know.
Thanks,
I know that's tough.
Appreciate
I know that's it's tough whenever we do that. Like whenever on the golf course, when
High
I
five.
say, man, I say, Reese, you're playing so great today. Like when I give Reese encouragement, it gets really uncomfortable. So he's not. He feels he feels unsafe right now. This is an unsafe.
I don't know. Like I'm looking over my shoulder. Like
what's going to happen right now? Something's about to happen. Attack. All right. Well, I'm so glad we finally like got to talk a little bit about that, Reese. I'm like really appreciate it. Let's talk about some sports. Let's get into the sports.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
I want to talk about soccer first today because I want to make sure that we hit on some things, and I want to kind of dive back into like youth sports a little bit and our journey to where we are today and like why we love sports and specifically soccer. Kind of give some people some context about why soccer is so important to us, and why we're even talking about it. I played in the NFL for 16 years, 17 years, 16 years for the Packers. Snuck a 17th in there, best kicker to ever wear number 21, all the stuff, it's
that's a good resume.
Count the records. But soccer was the first sport I'm pretty sure either one of us played. It's the first sport I ever played. Had a ball at my feet. My dad loved the game. Parents, were into it, loved the game. So I just remember always having a ball at my feet, and it was the easiest thing to do. You can kick a ball against a wall. You can do that. I mean, I broke a window kicking a ball against our garage, and that was the first time I ever lied. I tried to lie about it, and like my mom and dad are just like really, like you're gonna choose to lie about this one, like. Soccer ball's there, glass is broken. What's the disconnect?
You're the one out here.
Yeah. Wasn't me.
Yeah.
So I fell in love with soccer at an early age. I loved playing it as a kid, played all the way up through junior year of high school, made a choice in my junior year of high school not to play my senior year because I had gotten the scholarship to go kick at the University of Colorado. Honestly, one of the few probably regrets I have. It worked out, but like it was one of the harder decisions like I ever made. And like sometimes I look back and it was like probably like we talked about living life on purpose. It was probably one of the few times I ever made a choice out of like fear of like an injury.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. Like it was, I try to choose like to make choices out of like, abundance of information or positive things or like, good reasons. It's like, I'm choosing this because it's the right thing. And I chose to not play soccer my senior year because I was scared of getting hurt and losing a scholarship and having it affect my football career. So for me, it's like, that's always been though in the forefront of my mind where it's like, I love the game and it's like, it's so pure. I love like the creativity and motion where it's like, you have to like think fast and do things without like set plays all the time. Like, it's like you have everybody kind of moving together and you have to trust and like, move simultaneously with other guys on the field. So my love of soccer runs deep and it started as a young player. I want you to tell a little your journey. You played, you ended up playing soccer in college as well. And then we're both going to tell our best goal that we can remember scoring in soccer. And then we're going to talk about, what our favorite goal was watching like a professional score and like if we can remember one of those moments. So tell your story just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing. My mom says my first steps were behind a soccer ball, like literally, like as you're playing, that's how the story goes. Was I started walking behind a soccer ball. So yeah, same thing for me. And I mean, growing up forever, playing against you and dad and everybody, it was always just what I wanted to do. And it was kind of funny growing up though. Like I would say arguably, I was better at football later on in life. You were better at soccer and switched. And so, I mean, it was
I always thought I was going to go play soccer in college and you thought you'd go play football. Yeah.
And the old switcheroo. It was great. I mean, I played for fun. That's how I played. I just enjoyed it. It was to have a good time. It was intense when the whistle blows, like let's go. But other than that, it was, I was having fun. But it was, able to play in college and enjoy that, and met some great people and learned a lot of great lessons. But my favorite goal is actually one that I didn't score, but it was still my favorite of all time. It was my favorite assist. How about I'll start with my
You're
favorite
a big assist guy. You're a big assist guy.
I honestly didn't score like a whole, as I got older, I stopped being in positions to score a whole lot. But this one was my favorite. So Western District in like early high school, San Antonio, Texas. It's this crazy tournament where you go, like you play all these tournaments and you qualify for like the state tournament basically. And so we are playing this team, and I steal the ball at our own box. So now I have it's like a corner kick, steal it. And I just kick it instantly to midfield, and I'm chasing it. And as I'm getting there, there's a defender that's running at the same time. And we just absolutely just smash each other and collide. He goes down, I stay up. I like pass it around a guy, go the other way, and I'm gassed. I like literally my box, and now I'm almost at the end of the other field, like already, like went around two guys, like shoulder to shoulder, this other guy, he goes down. And I look up and I see my friend Macravara running down the field, and I cross it with my left foot as I like fall, and I'm like sliding, and it goes in between the goalie's hand and this defender, and Macravara does this like, the best way I can do it is like, I picture what a penguin slide, but in midair. He like diving header, legs tucked back, arms back, and just smashes it in. And it was like, me and Matt still talk about it to this day. It was like the greatest like goal we've ever like been a part of in our entire lives. It was an absolutely epic one. Loved that one. As far as like goals scored, I scored a lot of headers. That was like my like kind of specialty one. Was never great footwork wise, but if the ball was in the air, like that was mine. And so college, I scored a couple, like I think just 2 goals, and one of them was a good header, like crossed in, goalie kind of came out and just like jumped, like it floated in the air and like pinged it back far post, like just right over him. It was
classy.
Beautiful. That was a good one. A few as younger, but those are my favorite ones.
Yeah, obviously it's like you look back and it's like, you can pick out when you're a little kid and it's like dribbled through and like slide. I still remember moving back to Georgetown, Texas, and the team that I had been on when I was a really little kid, like the rec team. Whenever we moved back late in the spring or something, and the season had already started, and so I couldn't get on the team that I had kind of played on previously. We had only left for like 2 years, but it was like, okay, I came back and I'm like, I want to be with my friends. And it was like, well, the season started. Okay, this team has a slot. And it was like, we were like the Bad News Bears. That was Kevin Dussold. Like they were like, he was one of our like a neighbor kid. I mean, it was just,
I was trying to remember his name the other day. Weirdly enough, that's funny. You actually said that just like a few days ago. I was like, yeah, that's right.
So they lived right around the corner from us, and he was just like reckless, like he fouled everybody. But like, so Dad takes over as the coach, and like I'm just like, what is going on right now? It's like I'd started playing a little more competitive soccer, and then it was like, okay, like let's get this thing going. And I still remember like taking like dad was a great coach, and like mom would coach when he was traveling, so we were fortunate to have our parents coaching. And I remember Dad just like, hey, just do all you can until we get this team kind of clicking, right? And so I was opposite.
Put the team on your back.
I've always been the opposite of you, where I was like, I saw sport as a job. Like I was out there to work. I wasn't making friends on the field. I wasn't trying to like make everybody have fun. I was like, you better play hard, and we better do this the right way. Let's go get a win.
That's why I peaked here, and that's why you played in 17 years in the NFL. So
yeah,
I had fun. I had a lot of
friends.
Fun.
I have no friends. Everyone hates me because
no friends. It was a job, and I was like, let's have fun.
Yep, exactly. Oh yeah, and then well, it's so funny because we watched Nolan play now, my 8th grader, and like Reese and I are on the sidelines, just like, oh gosh, like, what are you doing out there?
And like Mason's so stressed out. I'm like, you understand this is me.
work together, guys. Have fun, everybody.
Work together.
Work together. And we're just like, don't work together. Like play. I'm like, play better. But anyways,
yeah, what was your epic goal in this?
So in that moment, so I'm like, I still remember it vividly for some reason. We're finally getting our team together and playing like a little bit better, and we go from like last place to like fourth place into the in the league. And I probably at least every other game, it'd be like the touch where you used to have to touch the ball forward on a kickoff.
Yeah.
So I just have the guy, literally someone just touch it in front of me, like a yard in front, and I would just shoot from midfield. And I would do that. I've scored probably in my mind, it was like 100 goals, but I probably scored like 8 times, like just because the goalie wouldn't be ready. Like
no one's ready. No one's going to shoot it.
It's not like they had film on me, so they didn't know that this was going to happen. And like no one expected anything from our team. So I'm just like, this is our best opportunity. If we like opening kickoff, like I'm shooting. And I just got I was like ripping shots. So I kept doing that. And then one of my like older in high school memories I went up for a header on a corner, got hit like in the air, hit my head, like I hit my eye. Like it was either his elbow and I like hit the post. And they got a penalty called. And like, kind of face stuff above the eye things, like it got opened up, but it wasn't like bleeding crazy at first. And then all of a sudden, like it just starts like gushing. So this is like my Nolan Ryan moment. And I'm like, I'm fine. I gotta take the PK, like wipe my face. And I go, I make the PK, and then like they took me out because like I was bleeding everywhere.
Right.
I still remember 5 hours in the emergency room waiting for them to put like a little glue on that and to shut it up. I'm like, Dad, and Dad's like, I'll just super glue it. And Mom's like, no, we're gonna have a professional do this.
Oh, that was good. I think so. I remember like one time it was probably like middle school days playing soccer, like summer league stuff. It was the only time I ever hit like a knuckleball shot. Ooh. And it was epic. I remember like corner of the box, and I hear like Dad, he was my coach at that time too, and he was like, shoot it. And I was like, okay. And wham, smacked it. And it was like up, dip, down. And it like hit the crossbar and went in. And it was like the only time too, again, in soccer, usually it was all like, oh, I scored. That was fun. Like, oh, let's run, do this. I was like, let's go. Like I got like fired up. I was like, what happened? I love that. It was amazing.
All right. We'll be quick on our favorite, like maybe just like, it doesn't have to be one specific, or honestly, I bet we're on the same page. It's probably the multiple Stevie G goals.
Yeah, I mean that's the easy one to go. Okay. I think
for Liverpool fans, Stevie G.
I have two Stevie G against Olympiacos to like continue them on in the Champions League. Yes. It's like your favorite, pundit like commentary of creating a scene. And it's just like Gerard, and it's like, what a hit, son! What a hit! That one is the best because he
is that the one? Was it like a half volley? Did it kind of like bounce?
Well, yeah, and it like right at the end to like to go like to continue
to
the next round.
I can like see it happening. Like I can see it. Yeah, in my mind.
That one's like the Gerard, and it just God, like gets me jacked. That one, and then another one, my favorite is Michael Essien. I believe he's from Ghana. He was playing for Chelsea at the time.
Chelsea, yeah.
Lampard just gives him a little knockback. He's probably 30, 35 out.
Yeah.
And just drops it off to him. And Michael Essien, full sprint, puts his laces through it. And it's like this perfect slow-mo behind where it has this little outside bend and like kisses off the post from like 30, 35 out. The goalie is just standing still. There's nothing
just
he can
ridiculous.
Do about it. That Michael Essien and the Steven Gerrard goal against Olympiacos.
I love it. Well, like there's a lot of Stevie G like goals that I can remember. Just like when you watch the highlights, it's almost like for soccer. It's basically like if you watch Stevie G, it's almost like Michael Jordan type highlights. If you're a soccer fan and you watch his goals, some of the goals he scored, and he was just always so great because it's like he's that unassuming at times, like soccer player where you look at it, like a little skinny and like they used to wear a little like baggier jerseys.
Oh, he's that player when you look at him, you're like, I'm gonna break this person.
Yeah.
Like,
and then he was the hard hitting, like ripping shots. Like you did not want to mess with Stevie G. So
I think I have another one that I like to throw in whenever I see it every time. Like I kind of forget about it, but then when I see it, I'm like, that was amazing. There's a Dennis Bergkamp goal where he played for Arsenal. It comes down to him and he has his back to the goal and he flicks it with his left foot around his right side. And so he like flicks it with his left, like kind of spins the other way and like shoves the defender to the ground and just like places it in. But I literally remember trying to practice that move. Like the goal to my back, ball coming to me, flick it with the left foot around the guy.
That's always a good one.
It never worked.
It never worked.
Like, watching that one, the Dennis Bergkamp goal was amazing.
Oh man. And then one I like, one that is like iconic too, is just like, and it's low hanging fruit in a sense because it's Messi, but like wasn't it his first goal where he chipped the goalie, like he kind of dribbled in? That's when he used to have the long kind of like flowy hair.
He had like, was it like the Maradona, like almost exact Maradona run?
Yeah,
from, like,
exactly.
Midfield, dribbled through everybody.
He dribbles through and he kind of is almost on the in line, cuts back, and the goalie comes and he just pop chips it over him. And it's like right in that moment, like he's that player that when you saw like the early stuff he did, you're just like, I cannot wait to see what what's going to happen with this guy.
Yeah.
Like
and he still does it.
And he still does it. Like so special. Like, again, that's why soccer is such a unique sport too. It's like size doesn't always matter. Like, it's like he'd face center backs and he'd face defenders that were 6'5", and he'd still make them look foolish. Like he has
literally like he maybe is 5'5". Like he literally
doesn't
has
get like thrown around, which is wild, right? It's
like you can't touch him. You can't get near him. Yeah.
It's like if you get close to him, he's going to make you look stupid.
Well, yeah, then that's what we've talked about that before. Like soccer is one of those sports when you look across, you're like, we're going to destroy these guys, or like that guy's terrible. No, you have no idea. You have no idea who's going to be good or who's going to be bad. Like it's one of those sports where you can't do no one passes the eye test. Like it just doesn't work that way.
It's like, because you don't know how much they have a ball at their foot at their house or like what practice they're doing. Soccer is just literally touches. You just need to get as many touches on your foot all the time as much as possible. But we talked about Messi not getting like dominated off the ball. You couldn't get close to him. I'm going to segue that into football now. Now we're going to go to American football. And I want to do a quick segment on, could you tackle this person?
Could I tackle this person?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to name a few, like Super Bowl's coming up. I have one name, and then we'll watch a little bit of the Pro Bowl probably. I mean, I think some interesting parts. Yeah. Or highlights. I mean, highlights are fun.
Am I in my body right now, or am I at like my peak, or can I?
I'm going to say, let's say, could you tackle this person in your peak, and then what would it feel like tackling them now? Like, let's do that. All right. In the name of what we kind of we teased at from last show that we're going to watch are some movies.
Okay. Yeah.
So
right.
Invincible for the Eagles and the Holiday Touchdown, a Chiefs love story, we're going to be watching. So in that vein, could you tackle Travis Kelce?
Yes, no hesitation on any moment. Right now, I could tackle him, and back then I could tackle. He's a big dude. Don't get me wrong, but like he's not like the bruiser. Like
he's not like a George Kittle.
He's not. No. Oh, I could not tackle George Kittle. No chance. But like watching Kelce like catch the ball,
you think you could get into his legs and like kind of
for sure, 100%. Yeah. If it's like if I stand up high, he's running me over. That's easy. But like I could wrestle those legs down. Like he's not moving very fast anymore. So like no.
Okay. Well, I was gonna ask it another time, but what would it be like if you tried to tackle Saquon Barkley?
I think. In my head, what I picture is I would just explode into dust. I think it'd just be like a poof, and you're like, whoa, what's gonna happen? And then Saquon's like 10 yards down the field, and you're like, where's Reese? And you're like, he's just gone.
He's just not here anymore.
It's just poof, like literally a dust cloud, like, you know, like a Kaboom, like cartoon, like, you know, where it's Kaboom and the Wile E. Coyote. And then like, I'm just there, like, and then I just sprinkle into dust. Like
I'd like to think in my heyday and like my younger days in the NFL and maybe college me. I was pretty strong in college.
You think? Are you saying you could tackle Saquon Barkley just at any time?
I like to think that, but then I also think that, and this is you love these. You love when I make these comments to toot my own horn in a sense. Like I didn't miss a game in the NFL,
right?
Playing in the Packers. If I had tried to tackle Saquon Barkley, I probably would have missed games.
You would have missed a game. We talked about this. Like, you know, hitting Devin Hester was horrible. You know, hitting like
I wanted to
Patterson was terrible. Like all these big people, like those. That's not Saquon.
Not even
like
close,
you're not tackling. Did Adrian Peterson return kicks? Did you ever have to tackle him? Kicks.
I didn't. No, luckily.
Oh, thank goodness.
Like I hid behind people when he
was same thing. So
Jordy saved me one time. Jordy Nelson tackled him in the hole whenever he was young. Like I think it was his rookie year. He played on kickoff, which is wild. That's what people don't understand. Like Jordy Nelson, one of the greatest receivers to, you know, in Packer history and in the NFL, played on kickoff on special teams as a young player and made tackles. He stuck Adrian Peterson in the hole one time. I'm standing behind him just like, please God, someone tackle him. I know. Jordy, I think that was the moment Jordy Nelson became my best friend. I was just
I mean, you had to. You were in debt to him for the rest of your life for saving your life.
Yeah,
like you wouldn't have made it that day. So
he saved my life. Okay, so let's just let's go this way. We got some coaches that were hired for the Packers. I wanted to we're talking football. I want to talk about the Packers real quick. They hired 2 coaches. One has been there for I think maybe just one season as like a quality control, like an assistant. Sean Mannion will now be their quarterback coach. So I've gotten to know Sean out in at Bandon Dunes at a charity golf event these last few years. He played quarterback at Oregon State. So it was a Pac-12 charity event thrown by Joey Harrington. It's his foundation. And so I've gotten to know Sean. He's an awesome guy. Pretty low key, kind of chill guy. Like almost like what you picture an Oregon State guy to be. I don't know why.
He's in your mind stereotypical Oregon State. He embodies
Oregon. He's an Oregon person. He's an Oregon guy. But I'm so pumped for him. I'm like super excited about him getting this opportunity. He's young, you know, he's younger than I am. Like this is a big step in his climb, and they obviously see something really positive about how he, you know, carries himself, how he coaches the players, like his knowledge around the game. So really pumped about him. DeMarcus Covington is now the Packers D-line coach, which he has a ton of experience. He was Patriots defensive coordinator, has, you know, a vast knowledge of the game. And so I think that's going to be a huge piece to try to draw out that. I was talking on the Reese Crosby show on the radio, and we were talking about the leadership of that Packers team. Like, do you need to get veteran guys? Do you need to go get free agents, bring in new voices? But like my experience is you just have to train up the guys that are there. You got to have the right leadership from coaches, from you know, personnel, like from GM, all that, to just tell you, like, get your guys to understand this is where we're going, like lead within that. But like you need these guys that have been there and been a part of it to take over that locker room. And I think guys like a DeMarcus Covington, you know, Sean Mannion, I think like is very relatable to guys because he played in the league up to like 2 or 3 years ago.
That's why
has experience, is younger, you know, can understand what they're going through. So I think those are great hires and promotions, and I'm really excited about kind of those guys being in charge of their position groups and what that looks like, because I think they need to draw out some leadership there in that Packer organization, in that locker room. It's time. It's 2025. This team is like, you know, built together. It's kind of now at the point where they're not going to be the youngest team in the league. They have guys that are experienced, have like been through the fire. They need to take that next step in those leadership roles. So, other than that, well, I did want to ask you how much is what's the most you've ever bench pressed? I'm just curious.
I love that segue. Anyways, yeah. No, good segue.
What was the most?
Let's see. It was 295. 295 was the most I ever bench pressed. I was a junior in high school. Bench press. I think
295 in high school.
Yeah, we had this conversation. You remember we had a bet that if I could weigh like, what was it? It was like 185 and bench press like 250, you would like buy me a car. And I think I weighed like 170. I couldn't gain a pound, but I could bench press 295.
Yeah.
And then senior year, I destroyed my shoulder, and it still like hurts to this day. And I've never even gotten close to trying to max on bench press ever since. But
yeah.
So what'd you bench press junior year? Yeah. Oh, you want to talk about high school stuff? Let's go, dude.
Let's talk high school.
I bench press like 295. No big deal. I could do like push-ups and stuff, like whatever.
I'm pretty sure junior year of high school, like, and I was talking to Nolan about that this morning. Like, I was always like lower body strong. Like that just was natural. Like my legs like were strong, like hip, like had kind of, it was interesting. I'd always have like good core. I remember even Ashley's husband Lyle making fun of us, our brother-in-law, because it'd be like my chest was like smaller than like, and like I obviously in that day, like I had like a good like core, and it was like my core would like stick out from my chest because like I was like strong, but I had no upper body.
Yep.
I think I benched like 225, like probably junior year of high school.
I mean, that's still great. Yeah, that's still great.
Was it? I was just like,
I mean, but not for a 5A starter in Texas or anything like that.
I used my base. I had big glutes.
That was a funny thing. I was never like big. I never looked like I could bench that much, but I was like, I just could, and I don't know. But yeah, that was so funny. Thinking about that, it's my whole senior year. I didn't lift upper body weights because I had a destroyed shoulder. It was like I broke my collarbone and it was a 2nd-degree separation. So like I didn't work out my upper body my entire senior year. I just did my best to not have my arm go numb and not move, which happened several times. But yeah, that's random. How much you bench, bro? I like this segment.
I know. This is a bro segment. How much you bench?
What's up, man? What's that about?
I did 225 in college. I think it was junior year, maybe after my junior year. 225 15 times. So that was the most.
Nice. That's a lot. Yeah, heck
yeah. I think like my max at one point was like 325. So
it's pretty good.
I am stronger than you.
How fast are you?
Oh, don't even. Like I see like the line here on the side. Like
that's my favorite. My favorite is with like Spencer. It says
on the internet. Don't believe the internet. But
our producer Spencer will throw little tidbits into the chat for us, and he literally like he's subtly roasting you, which is the best part. Like he's like, oh, you benched 225 or 15 times. Mason, it says on the internet you ran a 5.0840.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I did. I used to be athletic. As I realized that kicking was going to be like my job and like do all that, my athleticism unfortunately has slid. I've
just funneled it. You funneled it into kicking. You just funneled
into kicking, all kicking all the time. Yeah. So probably got slower. I was quick on the field.
Oh, speed. Yeah. Like game.
I was a gamer.
Yeah,
I was a gamer.
You're game time. You're not a practice player.
Show the Cordarrelle Patterson clip, and you'll see a burst that was faster than 508. But it was
like an 8-yard burst.
I went to 5 to 10 yards. Yeah, I was quick in a 5 to 10 yard.
What was your shuttle run?
I was way great. Faster. I was great there. I was it was very good. Like quick feet. But you got me outside 20 yards, it was over. I was not. I wasn't running anybody down.
No one's catching you.
Yeah. So I was always good at angles, real good angle player. Like make sure. I do all that.
It's efficient work is what it is. Just like all about the angles.
Exactly.
Pursuit angle.
All right, man. Well, yeah, we'll take off, and really appreciate everyone listening today on this episode of Kicking with Crosbys. Jump on, go to our YouTube channel, listen and subscribe. Kicking it with the Crosbys. It's on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. We really appreciate the support. Keep listening, keep joining on. Might be some giveaways in the future. Ooh, and then enjoy the the fun Pro Bowl festivities this weekend, and then we'll gear up for the Super Bowl. Can't wait for next week. It'll be Super Bowl week. We'll be rolling hard on that. But I'm going to work on my 40 now. After seeing 508, I'm going to see if I can't get under that by the age of 41. Ooh.
Next week, this just in, Mason Crosby pulls hamstring trying to run 40-yard dash.
Yeah, if I tried to get under 5 seconds right now, it probably would happen. That's definitely happened. Yep. But hey, Reese, fun time. Yep. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you next week. Later.